gateway to East Africa. Your gateway to East Africa. Your gateway to East Africa.
Train the students, but our vision is to transform the continent.
Students should have that creativity, not always tell them what to do and how to do it, but come up with an innovative way to do things.
Some problems don't have quick solutions to them. Sometimes it takes time, and failure is often part of that process.
Innovation can only thrive if you have the right investments that you're putting in research and development.
We need to carry every segment of our population with us, and particularly those from underserved communities.
It's about access to finance, access to markets, access to inputs. If that enabling environment is not working well, the young person cannot succeed.
Your gateway to East Africa.
Most of the youth, they're unemployed because you rely so much on the theory part, you forget that after school there is employment.
The community have this concept of like, no, these jobs are not for you, this is not for you, you should do that, you're not doing this. So it's so hard for people to get exposed and do what they can just do for survival.
You might know something, she might know something, they might know something, but the way I deliver that thing, they are not the same.
Having the degree is not enough. You must be social, you must be charming, you must know diplomacy, you must have communication skills. I think that's what makes you stand out.
It could be giving money or stuff, but they don't want to do it because they feel like it's taking what they want. When something comes that takes you away, people, youth, we are young, we put the ignorance like, no, we cannot do that one.
Is it the problem of those people who are supposed to be employing me, or maybe it's my fault?
Hello beautiful people, my name is Linda Nyehe. I'm a student at university. So today we are hosting youth and moderated dialogue. And guess what? We are here with...
Hello everyone, my name is Gihozolina and I'm also a student in university pursuing in my mass media and communication degree, but I also am employed. I do head reps with Hiba.
Okay, so hi guys, I'm Hiba, as Lina said. So we work together. I'm still a student, but I'm also makeup artist. Yeah, that's it.
I'm by the names of Atong Beatrice, a student pursuing my bachelor's in mass media. A South Sudanese by nationality. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Uwase Igihozo-Kelia. I am a student pursuing my bachelor's in hospitality and tourism, specializing in travel and tourism management. And I'm very pleased to be here with the ladies to discuss about this topic. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Uineza Marize and I am a student and I'm Arandis. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ikram Gasore and I'm a currently student studying in mass media and communication, and I'm happy to be here with the girls. Thank you.
I'm happy to be here too with girls. You all look gorgeous, by the way. You look good. So we'll be talking about youth unemployment, right? Or youth employment, youth unemployment. The topic will be, why am I still unemployed? You know, we do everything, we have degree, we work, we search for jobs, but still we are not employed. So what do you guys think is the reason?
I think one of the reasons why the youth we are unemployed is because even in the schools we study from, they very much rely on theory. I can't say where we are studying, they try to incorporate the practicals and everything depending on what you're studying, but we don't have the expertise. For example, you can study something in class. For example, you're studying about project management. You are learning about logistics, but as a student, you are very much relying on how can I cram the definition of logistics because it's going to come in the exam. I get the marks and I'm going to move. You will get the marks for sure, but when you get your degree, you go outside there, they hire you for a project management, they ask you to do some logistics, you remember the definition. Most of the times you don't even still remember the definition. So you fail to understand the topic when you're in school and you expect yourself to be hired, and the person who's going to hire you, they see the marks. Because on the marks, you crammed the definition. That's why you have the marks. But you don't have the practical side of cramming the definition of logistics. That's why I think most of the youth, they're unemployed because you rely so much on the theory part, you forget that after school, there is employment. And you get carried away, you cram, you don't come to classes, you don't go for internships, you don't want to be a social person, to exercise yourself with the people who are already in the industry. So when you go out there, it clicks to yourself, you're like, oh, so it's not about the logistic definition, it's about what is logistics and how am I supposed to manage the people in the project. So I think if we try to bridge that gap between the theory and practical part on the youth, it can be better about the employment opportunities. Thank you.
Well, thank you. That was a lovely point. For my own case, I'm going to make it more personal. Since the topic is saying, as a youth, why are you still unemployed? Personally, I'm going to relate this with the society I come from, right? It's like people have concept of what you should do and what you should not do. For instance, I'm just a student, so like I cannot get a white collar job. As a lady, maybe I will not go to the office or maybe work in the media house because I'm still, yeah. So you find like you can have jobs like maybe work as a bartender, maybe a waitress, maybe any other thing for survival. But then the society give us the concept of, as a lady, where I come from, you can't work in the bar because you get with the men. As a lady, why you working with in the restaurant, men and stuff. So you find like you, as a lady, you lack a lot, but you cannot get employed even if you have the opportunity, because it's not all about going for a white collar job, maybe staying in the office. Regardless, you can still get men, but the community have this concept of like, no, these jobs are not for you. This is not for you. You should do that. You're not doing this. So it's so hard for people to get exposed and do what they can just do for survival. Like in a young age, you can just do anything for maybe the time being, but you're denied those opportunities. So that's why, me personally, I think that's why I am unemployed. Thank you.
Okay, actually, thank you for sharing your point. And you're right. Like men are more qualified than women. Like the society see men are like they can handle everything, but for the woman, like she's weak, she can't do anything. It's not about women. It's more about like it's something that humans do. It's how do I live. So for me personally, if I go somewhere like looking for a job and they see my certificate and they look for everything and everything was good, but they just look at me like can you handle this work? And I'll be like, why not? So that's confusing sometimes, because why men can take the job but not women?
So thank you. But from my own perspective, I think we as a youth, okay, we are all facing this unemployment problem, but everyone, we do not have this individual uniqueness, right? Like whatever I know, she knows, you know, like we do not have any
anything special, right? So if there is, for example, like only one company which is seeking like, you know, like 20 workers, and there are 100 of us seeking employment, and none of us have anything unique, they would rather stay with the old employees they already had, you know. So that's why I think just because we do not have anything unique, we do not have anything special to offer as a new spice in the soup, you know, you get, that's why they are not interested to give us a job. That's my opinion. Yeah.
I think I want to add on a question towards what you just said. You said it's more of exposure, right? So it's like even if they are new, you were a new employee, but they prefer their old one, right? Okay, to my own point of view, don't you think it's not supposed to be like them being old or stuff? Don't you think it's more of exposure? You as an individual, like, did you give like that effort of wanting to be there? Because sometimes most of us, the youth, it's the payment. Are we going to be paid? Maybe a job can advertise, maybe like, or maybe trainees and stuff, but we don't take it. Why? Because we have not seen the payment. We need to be paid. We need to be told that there's money in order to take a job. So that becomes a little bit so toxic, because as youth, that's the empathy. We are not going to learn or maybe to be trained. We want to be employed to make money.
I don't think that employer will be interested to offer you like a good salary when he or she knows that you don't have anything unique to offer.
Well, to your point, actually, I think you saying you don't have anything unique to offer is actually not true. Why? You might know something, she might know something, they might know something, but the way I deliver that thing, they are not the same. The way you present yourself, the way you present what you know, will always not be the same. Because I will give an example, it's not random, but maybe let's say we have the same ingredient, we're going to cook the same food, because we do not use the same spice. Maybe if the spice I put first, you put last, the food will not come the same. That's what I'm saying. Just because we have the same knowledge doesn't mean we cannot have uniqueness in giving it. So I think we all have uniqueness in what we give, and it's just less opportunities that are out there, not the people not having uniqueness to have jobs. That's what I think.
To add on, I quite agree with her, but I'm 50-50 each side. I just remembered we were having a class with a certain doctor. I'm not going to mention her name. We were studying about strategic business, and she was telling us it's true. In the industry, they don't care whether you studied in a high-end university, whether your dad is a minister. They can't care if they want to give you the job through the connection. But let's be honest. We all study. Let me say, for example, we have different universities in Rwanda, even abroad. We have people we studied together with in different countries. Maybe Beatrice has people she studied with at South Sudan, and they went to different countries. They could be studying the same course as her. And these people are going to come back to the same country to fight for that one job. So yeah, you must have something special to offer. And I'm not saying it's not because people are special. Also, to come back to your point, it also depends on the delivery. Because come to think of it, people, we graduate, they are first classes, second class, they are people who just have passed, and we are all going, when we see a job ad on Instagram, TikTok, we're all going to apply. You're going to see your classmate, your close mate, your cousins, your relatives at the same job. But the question is, what makes you so valuable to our company? What makes you so special from the rest? Because she studied the same module as you studied. She studied from the same school. Maybe she even studied at a better school than you studied. But what makes you so special to our industry? And it all comes down, it all narrows down to, you might be capable, you might knowing the same thing that she knows, but also the delivery. And come to think of it, I think it's why in HR, they also look at the way you are dressed, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk to the staff, the way you express yourself. So having the degree is not enough. You must be social, you must be charming, You must know diplomacy. You must have communication skills. I think that's what makes you stand out. Yeah.
I actually agree with you. Now it's not about degree, it's about your skills, like what you can add to this job offer. Like if I was scrolling on Instagram, as you said, and I found like a job offer, the first things that come to my mind, what can I add to this job? Like, do they need me? Like, do I can share my, sorry, can I share my skills? Like, is this place so I can improve myself there? And that's it. If I didn't see myself qualified to this job, I'm not going to be interested in it. Like, I'm going to look for other one.
Okay. Sorry to be so time consuming. I want to add on your thing, like you just stated, but don't you think it's more of ignorance? In a point, like there would be a job opportunity and that requires you to go out of Kigali. I don't know any of the villages here, but maybe there's a job opportunity that comes for youth and requires you to go maybe out of the city. Maybe you're not going to be doing the things you do in the city, so it's taking you, like it's relocating you. So to my point, it's more of ignorance, because you don't want to leave your family. You don't want to move out far because you're going to miss the things you do. Maybe you'll not be going to club. Maybe you'll not be meeting your usual friends. Maybe you'll not be meeting any other people. So it's more of ignorance. People ignore opportunities that comes regardless to, it could be giving money or stuff, but they don't want to do it because they feel like it's taking what they want. Yeah, it's taking away from them, maybe their freedom, their exposure. They want to live the life they're living. So when something comes that takes you away, youth, we are young. Yeah, we put the ignorance like, no, we cannot do that one. I cannot go and work in the village, or it's not for me. It's tough. So it's the mindset we have, the concept that we cannot do this because it's not gonna be for me and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, I actually deal with you, but like if this job offer me a good salary, maybe I can take the risk and go for this job, and the salary will be good, so I can visit my family at the vacation, spend the time with them. So that's, maybe it's not a big deal for some people, but it is also for the other kinds, for the other side of people. So like it's not a big deal, so I can stop myself from this job. Maybe I can just consider this with myself. Hiba, can you take this risk and go far from your family, your friends, your whatever? Yeah, of course, we are human, so we can deal with the environment. If I go there, I can deal, maybe I can find another job there better than this one that let me and give me the opportunities to go there.
Sure. Yeah. So all in all, it's that in order to stop the unemployment as a personal person, or maybe as youth, it's we maybe remove the ideology of having ignorance, maybe criticizing things. I think like when we stop criticizing things, maybe like this is small, this is local, maybe this is not good, this is not well paying. I think we could be employed.
Actually, I don't even think that it's always about ignorance, or maybe it is, but we as a youth, let's be honest, all of us just prefer being comfortable, right? Because the life we live in, I mean, we may not be financially stable, right? But we are still surviving.
Yeah, that's true.
So since we know that, even if I'm not going to to be financially stable, I'm not gonna die, right? Mm-hmm. So some of us would rather stay at home scrolling on TikTok from day to night, just because I'm not gonna be stable, but still I'm gonna be comfortable. Maybe we should also look at ourselves and be like, is it the problem of those people who are supposed to be employing me, or maybe it's my fault,
Definitely it's personal, because it's you're rejecting. Like I said earlier, it's more of ignorance. You're comfortable with your situation. You don't see like the outcoming of what is gonna bring in. You feel like it's gonna take away from you, right? You don't want to stay where there's no Wi-Fi. You want to be connected to the world. But most of the times, like, opportunities comes and they take away from you, right? They really drain from you, because job is a job. You're gonna give all to that. But it's more of ignorance. Whatsoever the thing is ignorance. We are so ignorant to see our future. We're just so concerned of what will happen tomorrow. I will not be talking to these people. Or maybe I will not be texting those of Linda. We're not gonna go for party. So those are the things we are thinking, but not what will come afterwards. Yeah. So we're comfortable with our situation because we have the ignorance. We don't want to accept the reality and maybe just move forward in order to change the unknown, right? Yeah.
So Thank you. I feel like one part of the youth is really comfortable and another just want jobs, and we do have a problem of limited job opportunities. For example, in Rwanda, the youth does represent a major demographic group in the whole country. We have so many, and we can't all work in the parliament or be lecturers or something. So I feel like we should all be creative and find our own jobs, create jobs, and for others. Thank you.
Yeah. So, to what she said, actually, I think as R&Ds, we all know we have our parents has this thing of if I should call it backwards thing or stuff. I don't know, but they feel like if you have a job, you should have a good job, a good paid job, a respectable job, like
White collar one.
right? You're right. So you
Talk
like
about.
sometimes you be like, I want to do that because I'm unemployed, and there this opportunity I might be maybe I will be a server, I will work in a cafe, I will work somewhere, and they look at me like, I will just be coming to drink coffee and my daughter will be serving me. They'll be like, nah. So there's this mentality, yeah, there's this mentality, like your parents play a big role. They'll be like, you're not gonna work for that. We pay for your school fees, we give you home, we give you maybe I don't know how they say it in English, mais argent de poche, money to spend, yeah, pocket money, where you put for survival every day. They'll be like, we give you money to to do your daily necessities. You don't need to do that cheap job. So there's this thing in Rwandese where it's like, I mean, Africa, the whole Africa, they'll be like, that job is cheap and you shouldn't do it. So I think it's mostly the background effect where we came from. People are like, I will not do that. That's not suitable for my image and stuff. So I feel like that plays a huge role in that.
To add on what Beatrice has said, I will also come back to your point. She said about an instance of having a job, but in like a province. Can we also talk about the way jobs that require you to move from your comfortable home, they are also tiresome? You come to think of it, you have, for example, you have a job at Muhanga. You're living in Kigali, Kicukiro. You have to commute. You cannot commute from Kicukiro to Muhanga every day, coming and going. You can't. So what comes in mind? You have to search for a rent. That's rent. And there's rent, there's obviously food, water. And if the same job was to be in Kicukiro, you could have been able to commute to the job, to home, without having to spend more money on the rent, the electricity. So it's also tiresome because even the employers, most of them, they don't consider that. They expect that if you applied for a job at Muhanga, you live there. And I think it should also be incorporated in the HR objectives. If a person, you should be considerate in a way. You cannot pay a person their net pay. Their net pay is not considering the rent and everything they have to go through for them to go to the job. And also on the part of African parents, I very much relate. I have parents who are very strict. If they are going to watch this, yes, I say that you are very strict. They are very strict. So my dad, you can tell him, Dad, there's this job ad I saw, I'm going to apply. The first thing that man is going to ask me, how much is the salary? And most probably you are even there for, when you have a job, you get to experience what you have to deal with, the clients and everything. But the parents, they are not thinking about that. They are thinking about if my neighbor sees you there, what are they going to think of me? Don't I give you food? Don't I give you shelter? And also some parents, they can even bring husbands to them. Like as girls, we go through it, guys. We go through it. They bring husbands in the communication. They are like, who's going to marry you when you do such a work? For example, like Lina said on the cafe thing. The father is going to be like, there are men there, they will be looking at you, the uniforms they wear, they are not these, yada, yada. So you always have to convince your parents that the job is worth it. And maybe sometimes you want to start somewhere. Let's be honest. You cannot go straight from university and then you expect yourself to be the secretary of a minister. No way. You have to start from somewhere. You can be from the Umudugudu, that's Kinyarwanda, or maybe a Kagari somewhere. You have to start from somewhere. Even our parents started from somewhere. But now the issue is our parents don't want us to start from somewhere. They want us to be there, but also the skills we have. For example, there's a person who has 5 years of experience in the post you want to apply with them. You cannot compete with them. And your parents are expecting you to leave that job, which pays you maybe, for example, 8 Rwandan francs, 80K, to go for the one of 130. How? You just entered the industry, so you have to start from somewhere. But also, to give a solution to what you said, I think you have to be very feisty with your parents. Stand on your ground. Because at the end of the day, it's your future. These people, they have lived their future, I'm telling you. They have lived, they are retiring. And you will be there saying, daddy, mommy, but at the end of the day, it's your future. So be feisty, stand on your ground. Tell them, mom, dad, I know this job, maybe to you, it's not with the expectations you had for me, but I'm also in for the experience in the industry. I want to build my CV. Let's be honest, a CV is very good. A CV that has like 5 experiences from different jobs which paid good and you used to behave nicely. It's a very good thing to connect with other industries. So be feisty, stand your ground, and yeah, inshallah, everything will be good.
As you said, it's true, inshallah. They said, there's this thing in Kinyarwanda, akazikawi kagoesha keza, right?
Yeah.
A bad job gives you a good one. So
Okay, I want to add a small piece of the word on what you said. The African parents are not comfortable with most of the jobs we do, and that's the truth. So to some point, I feel like, yeah, some jobs are really not suitable for us as ladies, as women. We are tormented in some jobs. So you find an African parent doesn't want you to work in a restaurant. At some point, there's a reason for that. Because in the society I come from, we don't have like the women right, women being protected. So when you're there, you just an opportunity at that moment. You get, so you will be working in a bar, maybe in a restaurant, and then a man comes with whatsoever he has been going through, he's tired and stuff, and you find like he humiliates you. You get, he touches you bad, he talks to you rudely. We are not respected as women. He's gonna do anything, and you find like you don't have anyone to go and speak to, right? Because you're humiliated at your job and you really want to put that effort, you want to work, but it's never comfortable for you. Regardless to what the African parents are saying, we are tormented in some jobs. You don't feel comfortable. You're just taken there like, yeah, that's what women do, right? You need to work sexually, maybe physically, domestically. This is what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to work. So you find like, I don't disagree most of the times when an African parents say, these jobs are not good. They are not, even if they are well paying, they are not good. Because as a woman, we also need to be protected. But if these jobs, even if they are there, our parents don't agree with them, but they still don't suit us because we're exposed to the world, and at the end of the day, they take from us. Yeah? These jobs, they torment, they take from you, you humiliated, physically abused, insult. So like, I agree with African parents on such jobs because these are the reasons why we are unemployed and should be. So I can say that.
So, in my opinion, I'm going to start with being employed. All of this of being unemployed, it all starts with our ignorance as youth, as the Beatrice said it. So we go there, sleep all day, scrolling, and at the end of the day, we all know that our degrees are not automatically, will not automatically give us the job that we need. I may be overqualified for this job and underqualified for another. So you may not match the market's demand. So you're gonna need the real life work experience. Experience matters. And about another thing that I was thinking, we all know that networking is a huge thing, to have a network. You know, if you know the right person, yeah, the doors are gonna be opened faster more than an application can. That's what I was thinking. Thank you.
Beatrice, let me come back to you real quick. You said you agree with African parents, right? At some point, I do want to also agree, but I can't. Do you know why? Because I don't think it's upon the employee to protect herself from the employers. I think as a bar manager, as the management, these things as a person, okay, let me start somewhere. As a person who's studying in tourism, these things, they have been moderated. There are very strict rules about people who abuse employees. And as much as the experience is very different from where you come from, but here in Rwanda, they are very much strict about people who take advantage of employees. And it could be maybe you can't say the whole, just because we have the rules, it does not still happen. But the thing is, now you can report, now you have a platform, you can say it. But I don't think you agreeing with the African parents is solving the issue here. Because let me tell you, even as a secretary, your boss they can sexually assault you as a secretary. It's not only in bars. Okay, now I think this is going to be.
Yeah. At the end of the day, as women, they take advantage of us everywhere, regardless to the environment. I want to say something. Like, there's this time in my life when I just completed senior 4, I was curious and I wanted to work. So I told my parents, I told them I want to work. And my dad went to my mom and told her, does she eat at home? Like, why does she want to work? Do you give her food? Like, what is going on? So you find, like, when I talk of African parents having this concept, we come from different places, and of which our government is kind of different, and approaches towards women are different. All African countries, there's a way they have rules towards women, right? But at some point, where I am from, because I'm talking out of experience, we don't have those things. You find like you're tormented, and when you speak out, because I feel like right now I'm speaking for another woman who is silent somewhere else. So they don't speak, because even if you go and tell someone, oh, I was sexually harassed, and they'll be like, yes, you give it. Like, why were you even there in the first place? Like, they don't find a reason to blame whoever did the action. The point is, it's always you. You're the fault, yeah? Why were you in sexual assault? Maybe you don't dress good. Maybe your approach wasn't good. So like, it's always on you. You find like, even if you talk, nobody's hearing you. Even unless you just quit the job. But even if you speak, the more you speak, the more like you're stressing. You're the reason. You're the problem. Nobody's turned to put blames on the really person. You're the victim, but nobody sees that. So I feel like I agree with our African parents, because where I come from, really, when your parents don't speak for you, nobody's coming to do that. It's not the government. It's not the society. It's not the world. When you fail, they see like, yeah, that's what she was. Even she was working in the bar. You see, that's who she is. So like, they always have those things. So I feel like they protect the unknown version of us when they tell us, don't do this. It's more for our own good, maybe to avoid those things, because they torment you mentally. Going to work in a bar and find like someone do you something really bad, those memories don't leave you, right? You grew up with them. So everywhere you go, you always feel like this is the way you'll be treated in the society. So that's why I firmly agree where I come from.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that. But yeah, as you said, countries are different. The governments are very much different. But I also think you have to have the courage, because let me tell you, if we stay in that, also like the part of victim blaming in African societies, it needs to be another different discussion someday. We're gonna have that session, really, God willing. But imagine if we stay having that same mentality. I know it's fear. It's very much fearful, because if you had to go through that, I can assure you, Beatrice, if you have a child, you will never allow her to step in a bar, right? Yeah. But now imagine if as parents, we think, it's not even thinking, it's the reality, right? Girls get molested anywhere, and it's very harsh the way they always quick to say, what were you wearing? Look at the uniforms you were wearing. Why were you there? The bar is supposed to be for men, etc. But we have to change the narrative. As much as it's the fear is a lot, And the reputation also is at stake because, let's be honest, the way they view us women, they view us as weaklings. They view us as people who are not capable. They view us as people who belong to the kitchen. Even nowadays, by the way, the kitchen, the culinary is being taken over by men. So you get to ask yourself, what are they living for women out here? But we have to face those things. We have to face them boldly, courageously, and I think we will be able to win such battles, because if we come to think that we can't do such jobs, then now imagine if there's a girl who has a talent of mixology, you know, mixing in the different liquors, doing cocktails, doing mocktails. She has that fear, trust me. She has that fear of, what if one day I'm at a night shift, someone comes, they just molest me. But also they can't stay at home, but because that's their talent. So you have to be bold. If it happens to you, trust me, speak up. Speak up. I know everything is blamed on the girl child and everything, but speak up. You'll be heard. Don't be fearful. Just be fearless and be courageous enough. And there are very many rules and different departments and government agencies you can report to. Yeah.
So far we all have everything to say about it, and it's really inspiring. But let's take a 5-minute break and we'll come back later.
You're taking some pictures and you're going to be saying before and after.
In Rwanda-Kazakhstan relations.
Welcome from our short break. We're still with our topic, youth employment. Why am I still unemployed? So my ladies have their views, and we'll kick in.
Thank you for having us back. Another reason as to why as youth we are unemployed, it's discrimination and favorism and nepotism. I will speak shallowly about them, so you ladies, you can also tell me something about it. In this world, everything seems like a form of corruption in a way. Let's talk about it. That's why you always say, I'm God's favorite. But if you say you are God's favorite, that means there are people who are less favored, right? So you say you get a job, you say, it is a connection. But there's another person who is seeing it as a form of corruption, because they are maybe capable more than you, or maybe they are capable at the same level as you, but because they have someone in that industry they are going to apply a job from, they get the job. And this discrimination sometimes is also based on gender. For example, especially with the ladies, you can say, she's beautiful, she can do it. And maybe the person who is maybe unconventionally attractive according to the society, she gets the job. And the one who's unconventionally unattractive, she does not get the job. So I also think discrimination and nepotism for people, if it's a family business, they only are hiring the parts of the family. Even if the cousin did not even go to study in that area, they are hiring him or her. But you studied for 4 good years in the university, but you are not getting the job because there's nepotism, there's discrimination. So I also think those 3 things, they also play a part in the unemployment rates that we have in the youth.
So you're 100% right, as I said, but we didn't get the 360 of the salary. Like if I didn't like find a good salary with a job that matched my skills, of course I'm not gonna, like, maybe if the salary was high, maybe I can take the risk. Yeah, I'm not qualified yet, but I can take it as a new mission to do, right? So salary is also something that's make us unemployed and give us the like, I don't have to work if I'm gonna get like a low salary. Why am I going to work? Like my parents give me money every day. That's easier than go and make money and at the end stuck with the, let's say, 50K. So yeah, that's also a point.
Let alone the salary, right? I mean, maybe some of us are willing, to settle for short salary so that we can get experience, right? We have been talking about nepotism, discrimination, but let's talk about ignorance, and not just ignorance on the one who's seeking a job. Let's talk ignorance on the side of employer, right? For example, I'm 20 something, right? I just graduated from university or master's. And when I go to ask for a job and apply for a job, maybe I qualify for everything that they're asking for. I'm 20 something, mind you, and now they're asking me, you should have like 12 years of experience. I think it's so unfair for them to be expecting me to have 12 or let's just say 6 years of experience when I'm 20 something. Yet they're the one who's complaining, youth, youth are the one who has something to offer, something new. But you guys are not giving youth a time to shine because you are expecting them to have experience, which is very weird, actually. Yeah.
I want to add something on yours because in real sense, to me, I don't want to say it's more of greed or let me not put it like that, but you're right because you find like these people in their old ages, you see someone is a prime minister, someone is a secretary general in these, someone, regardless of their ages, they are very old, very sick, but you find like they don't want to leave that opportunity because they feel like somebody's going to take it, and that somebody is someone that is younger than them. So you find like they have it, they can't even work anymore, but I don't know, it's the greed or whatsoever the thing is, they don't give opportunities to young people. This is one reason, very big reason that we in African, we are still behind, or we get our dream jobs when we're now old. You cannot be maybe a 25-year-old and maybe like, I want to be a press secretary. But maybe if I go to where I'm from, you find like maybe the press secretary is the old man of 72. You get? So like, I'm supposed to compete with that person. We don't get the opportunities because even if they're aging, even if they're not capable again, maybe because life changes, yeah? Even job changes, things keep changing. What was happening 2 years ago is not the same system they're using right now. So the system change, but they don't change. They sit there. So this is a problem. It's more of, they're just greedy. They don't want to give opportunity to other people.
So with what you're saying, actually, we had a debate with the, I don't remember, but it were elderly people working versus new blood, new generation, asking. Now I think the retirement is 60 something, 66. I don't know, but it's in that range. We're like, should it be like reduced or increased? Why? Because some people, when they remain in the jobs, if maybe my grandpa is working in a certain industry and stuff, I will not be unemployed when he's there. He will bring me inside too, which I will do to my cousins, my kids, everyone. So we're arguing, saying, should retirement be reduced? Maybe people will come out of the job easily and stuff. So there, this entire discussion that was said, it was they don't hire youth because they're of experience, but sometimes they hire youth and they don't do the job as good as the older staff are doing it. Like sometimes we hire people to do, maybe let's say they're doing production, and you be like, oh, I know how to do production and stuff. But when you're actually on the set to do that, you don't do it as good as someone who was there. So they're like, is it a problem of maybe people who doesn't have much experience, or is it a problem of, I don't know, people who are not willing to study and have experience? Because when you're at school, you have a chance of experiencing. You go do internships. You can ask for any internship. The problem is when you have an internship that is not paid, you don't want to do it. You want an internship that is paid, and you cannot always have experience through payment. You should first do an internship that is not paid. That will increase your, how do I say it, your experience. You'll be capable of doing that thing the older staff can do, and then they will hire you. So the problem is actually the youth want internship that is paid. Everything should be paid. They'll be like, we have something, we want to teach you guys to do something. Be like, is it paid? Is there money? You know, and actually money will not bring you anything. We work for that money then, but then the requirement will not be as standard as the one you said, I just want to learn. Because if I go, I'll be like, oh, I want you guys to teach me how maybe photography, editing, without payment. I'll just be like, I'm willing to come every day. You are not paying me, I'm just a student. That person will be more willing to educate you than when you be like, will there be payment? When I'm paying, imagine I'm paying you and I'm teaching you at the same time. How does that make sense? So I think that's the issue that we have today with the youth.
But don't you think that's a little bit minor? Because we are living the main thing here. It's not about us not capable. It's not about us not being able to do something, yeah? It's about us not being seen to do that thing. For example, as youth, I believe like they always say like youth, we have hot blood. In our language. We say like, oh, this person has a hot blood, yeah? When you're growing, the more you're flexible, yeah? I can do this, I can do this. So you find yourself, you can really do it. But you deny the opportunity. You are not accepted. Because they believe, these are mindsets. We believe you cannot do this. Let me say an example. Like maybe when I want to work in a media house, maybe I apply to work in this media house. So maybe I find like the other people, maybe like, okay, people that are older than me, maybe they may not be able to be carrying the cameras. They're heavy, right? Because this requires us to have energy, you know? So you find like, regardless to me being flexible, capable, and willing to do that, but it's their opportunity. They don't want to give it because when they let go, they become unemployed, and that's what they don't want. They still want to stick with the position, not seeing that someone else can take it there. So for my own case, I think like the government should put rein on when people should stop working, maybe when people should retire, because people are going to school every day. How many people graduate in a year? Very many people, but they still stay down because those that are already working can leave their jobs, right? Regardless of their age. Maybe they are sick, they are what, but they will stay. So I feel like whatever you said earlier was a little bit minor, but the main case is not giving an opportunity, regardless to if you're capable or not.
Thank you. Actually, when you talked about something about opportunity, I just got an idea, right? So if you know that maybe there's someone out there who's not going to give you that opportunity that you're looking for, right? What if we as a youth, when we think about how to become financially stable, how to get employment, right? How about the first thing that should come to our mind is creating something for our own. Like being self-employed and stop seeking, people, can you please hire me? Can you please hire me? Because I feel like if you see opportunity and you grab it, of course it's gonna be something hard in when you're studying, right? But it will give you a platform. It will give you a platform because there's no one who's going to be there and be like, yeah, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. And no one is going to reject you any opportunity that you're looking for. So don't you think maybe we as a youth, we should also look at ourselves and be like, okay, let me build something for myself, right? What's your opinion? I don't know how this sounds.
Yeah, it could be content creating.
Me, I have as much as I agree with what you're saying, let's be honest, not everyone is capable of starting something for their own. Not everyone is meant to be their own CEO. We have people who want to work in already established companies. And as Beatrice has already said, they don't want to give us that opportunity. And also I believe in, if you want to start something for your own, some people, they have loans, they get some capital from the families, some of them go to the bank, but most of the youth, the high rates, they always think, okay, I want to be self-employed, but I have to start from somewhere. So let me get employment for like 2 years, I be saving up, and then I will start something of my own. But let me tell you, the reality on the ground, it's very harsh. You will get into the job, that job will always be paycheck to paycheck. The minute, like I've once had a cousin of mine, he had a job one day, not even one day, it was like for 2 years. And after the paycheck, you know, the way you always start to charm them so they can give you money, you're like, hey, hi, it's been a long time, today's the paycheck. They used to tell me, the salary I'm going to receive right now, I'm already in loans for the salary. I have bills to pay, I have rent to pay, electricity, water. So you find like if you're earning 120 and aside from all the other bills you're paying, you're remaining with like 30K. And remember, you have to eat, you have to dress up, there's shelter. And also like as a youth, we have also this mentality, if you see a party somewhere, the ticket is 15, you're like, let me go, life is short, you know?
We live once.
Exactly. So you say, the money will come, right? That's what we tell ourselves before we make bad financial decisions. You say, the money will come back eventually.
I can relate.
Exactly. I also can relate. That's why I'm speaking about it. So they don't pay you enough to be self-employed. That's the harsh reality on the ground. They pay you enough to stay like a slave to the company, to be like an asset to the company. Yes, they pay you enough to sustain yourself. You can eat, you can wear something, but not think of something. Now imagine if they can pay you to actually outrun where you are employed. For example, if you're employed in a hotel, they pay you enough for you to start a restaurant of your own. It's not economical. It's not economical. So they have to pay you for you to sustain yourself, but also rely on the company for the employment and for the money. That's why most of the people, they have jobs, they always be like, if this one doesn't work out, when they see a job ad, they also applying just in case, they also applying. So it's also an issue, but yes, we should be self-employed. If you have a business idea, work on it. You can search for a loan. There are banks like Agricam, which fund youth. They have loans for youth, small, and the interest is not that big. You can start from somewhere. But also the issue still remains with the elderly people. They want us to work. They see you, they're like, you're very lazy, your classmates, your classmates, they are out there, they are seeking jobs. But the reality is they're seeking jobs, but you're the ones who always call them after they told you they are from applying. You're like, hey, how was the interview? Like, hey, we applied like 200 people, they only picked 2. Imagine. Because the jobs are very scarce. Even the ones that they have, they are not paying well enough. And even the ones that now the people, they have to retire for us to step in, they don't want us to give us the opportunity, like Beatrice said, because they always say, the youth, you are the tomorrow's future leaders, but the future is now, but we are not the leaders. We are still not the leaders. We are just here looking from the side. So it's also a very big issue that our government, different governments, they should work on to see how they can empower the youth. They have tried their best, but maybe their best is not yet enough. They have to try more. Yeah.
Know that you being a Gen Z, know that you are cooked in this generation.
Thank you. At least someone has spoken for us.
Being a Gen Z is like at my home when you do things, you are Gen Z. Gen Z don't know how to plan things. Don't we know how to do great things? But we all know that deep down, you don't think that I'm going to be a politician. I want to be a content creator. We also know that Gen Z want a soft life. Yeah, we all want to do great things, be higher, like you were saying, prosecutors, but deep down we want a soft life. And I'm gonna create my own, something like that. So, but for defeating these unemployment things, I think we must learn a lot of things. When you know a lot of things, when you are versatile, many options are gonna open up for you. So let's not be lazy. Gen Z are lazy, we know that, but Gen Z, being a Gen Z is a problem. We all know that. Yeah.
Actually, talking about the love of soft life when it comes to Gen Z, that's why I was saying, why don't we just think of self-employment when we think about finding a job? Because I mean, yeah, we all want to be self-employed, but do we all, like, are we willing to go that low to start, like, at the I don't even know how to call that stage, right? Because some of us would be like, okay, I can start low, but how low are we willing to go to get your freedom as a Gen Z who are now running after 70 something people, to give you the opportunity? Some of us would be like, I can do something on my own, but let's be honest. We love being comfortable. We love cozy places. We do not want to look unclean, right? I'm not telling you guys to do unclean stuff, but I'm talking about, like, we do not want to hustle, right? So if you think about, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to face the consequences of not being financially stable, right? So if you know that no one is gonna come and save you, you are on your own, maybe we should think, okay, I am willing to go that low.
Because those higher people we were talking about, they are low. They started down.
Of course.
That's why they don't want to leave that position. But for the Gen Z, I think the social media also is a problem for Gen Z.
We like the glam,
But I mean, if there is a way, you can just
a rich girl is going to come on social media, tell you, go look clean, look your best, wear your best clothes. You're gonna wear it well. Where will you find it? Those clothes when you didn't work for it. Also, social media is a problem for Gen Z. Gen Z, we are also a problem. We know that.
I want to add on one of your things before I give my sister, and yours too. So you were speaking of Gen Z, and I'm feeling like there's a point we're leaving out. It's about us, the women. So we have an issue like, oh, my man is gonna get me this, my man is gonna take me there, my man is gonna buy me the latest iPhone, my man. It's always my man, you get. So like we are so reluctant in a point, like we want to be spoon-fed, yeah? We want to be given the things like in a silver plate. As ladies, oh, I cannot do this because my man will get me the latest whatsoever. It's always we are depending on men. It's just the ideology in most of the people's heads. Yeah? Let me just say, like, where did you get your iPhone? Oh, my man got it for me. As a woman, it's very few these days to get youth saying like, I bought this, right? I bought myself a wig. I worked hard. I bought this. I'm renting my house. I bought this. If it's not parents, it's my man. It's always like that, right? So like we don't turn out to come out and like, why must it always be like from the men? At the end of the day, that money comes with a lot of disrespect. But at some point we are comfortable because we go on IG and like, oh, she's glowing, she's that, her man is doing her that. So like it's not spoiling us. When I'm having a good life, you also want a man like my man, right? So you find like
we comment like, God, when?
Yeah, when do I get a man like that? So you never know even the things I go through. Right? To all become like that, to dress very well, to have those IG pictures, to be very good on TikTok, regardless to my men thing. So like when we youth remove this Gen Z head and try to be women, like you knock your heart, I'm like, I'm gonna do this as a personal person. Like it doesn't need to be my man. So when this idea and ideology and a propaganda on media stop, I think, yeah, we're going to do better. Like as women, we go to school, we study, we do whatsoever it takes, even if it means you sell at the roadside. Yeah, it doesn't need to be my man is come and get me home. My man is going to do this. So I feel like that Gen Z attitudes needs to stop for a change. for really consideration in the society, for betterness, and for respect for women. My main title needs to stop.
That's what I was saying. Like, the situation we are living in today, it doesn't give us live or die. It gives us live, die. No, I mean, it just gives us live, be comfortable, or die. So a lot of us, we have choose to stay in comfortable section. So I think we as a youth, sometimes we have to start by looking at ourselves and be like, if I want to be financially stable, I have to start by hating, by saying no to the comfortable zone. And be like, even if I have to do something, something which will require me like my effort, I will. Because comfortable kills. I think we should start by being, okay, I hate being just comfortable. I don't want to be just comfortable. I want to be financially stable. And if you have decided to be financially stable, maybe there are a lot of things like my man that you're going to left behind,
So, what I wanted to say was it was about what Linda said about self-employment. I feel like the youth lacks investment. We lack investors. Some people out here, the youth have ideas, many ideas, but they lack the investment. They don't have someone to put themselves into their ideas. So I feel like that's what leads to unemployment. People go back to seeking for money and financial stability. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think youth lacks investment. Okay, maybe some of them they do. I mean, we are doing something. We don't have that much collateral, but a lot of us actually we lack information of where we can get investment, because like there are a lot of people who doesn't even know that there is a bank which is willing to give like a startup investment to youth. So maybe we should start by going out, looking for information. You get?
Yeah, and making use of media, because media is a whole lot of, I don't know how people see media, but when you see media, it's a whole lot of opportunities. There are a lot of things that comes on media because it's a digital world. Sometimes when we, the youth, engage ourselves on media, not to maybe this, you're texting this person, like you're doing this. Many people are surviving through media. Self-employment, you have the iPhone, you have the good quality camera. So like when you start to create, like there's an opportunity on media, right? You can get you can just take that opportunity, grab it, and then like make use of it. You find like people will come looking for you to advertise for them. And advertisement, you're paid to do that. So when you start creating, like stop maybe dancing on TikTok, maybe we change the system, the content you're using, and maybe bring something maybe conducive to the community, maybe something that will bring a lot of attention to the people, maybe something that will make you be known. So when we take use of media can really help us, right? When we take use of maybe how we can use our TikTok accounts, maybe the way we are connected with our Facebook, any other sort of media. So we can start our employment with those things regardless.
I think according to the way the conversation is flowing, we are the problem.
Big one. That's the truth.
We are the problem. But also on what she said, it's true. We want to be spoon-fed so bad. We want to be spoon-fed. Like Beatrice said, everything is just my man, my man. And can we also talk about the way the people, especially as girls, so sadly to say, we shame women who really try to hustle. We say she's masculine, she's desperate, she's money, her nails are not done, her hair is not done, she's not presentable, but really she's very much trying. She's maybe denying herself, okay, if she says to do nails, it's like 15K or 10K. That 10K, I can save it up every month. Instead of doing nails, I can save it up. But there will be a girl sitting there, she'll be like, look at her. She's not presentable, the nails are not done, the lashes are not done. We also have to try to encourage each other as women. If you see a person, they are really trying, you don't know why their hair is not done, you don't know why their nails are not done, you don't know why she's wearing like that, you'll be like, does she know boyfriends are on, Koripose, like we say in Kinyarwanda, So stop shaming women who are trying, encourage them, support them. You can even see a woman, me actually, I don't know, you will call me a feminist, but I am actually, but I always want to support my fellow women. Like I will literally see a man selling clothes and everything, but I will also try my hard best to see if there's a lady who is also in the same spot to support her. We need that sister love, that sisterhood, the platform, and also on social media, like Beatrice said, you should not have peer pressure of the social media. Everything can be monetized, guys. You can monetize your talents. If you do like the way you guys do makeup and hijab and everything, you monetize it because you know how to do it for yourself. So you monetize it for a person who does not know how to do them. You start small, and also the lack of information. We want to be spoon-fed. Oh my God, we want to be spoon-fed. For example, let me ask you, you see we have defense at our various universities we study from. Have you ever actually asked yourself how many people actually sit down and see the project research they did in school? They're like, but this was a good idea. I want to work on this idea. We just do it for defending so we can graduate and that's it. We do it for defending. So let's try to change the narrative. Let's be courageous, support each other. That's the main thing that I wanted to say. Support your fellow women, support people who are trying their level best to be on the ground and also be stable. And I think if we do that, we're gonna find a common ground in unemployment crisis. Yeah.
And I also think that we as a youth, we should stop being used to old way. Like the same way our parents the same way our parents achieved what they have today, you never know, maybe it's not going to be the same way that you achieved what you want to achieve. Because if my dad, worked, I don't even want to say the mass that he used to work, it's actually so funny. Like, it's not the same way that I'm going to achieve my dreams, right? But maybe we should be more like opportunist, not in a bad way, right? But even if it's a small thing, maybe you can be like, this is an opportunity. For example, I think a lot of people, we all have iPhones, right? Maybe we all have Wi-Fi. Why don't you just set up your camera and then do, hello guys, here's a story time, Like, why don't you just find opportunity in a very small things? Because for real, like not everyone is going to achieve the same thing that parents achieved in the same way they did, So maybe we should actually, even the fact that we were born in Kigali, Rwanda, where we have security, that's opportunity. Having iPhone, bro, iPhone, that's opportunity. Having a Wi-Fi, that's opportunity. Knowing English, So I think we should try new ways. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're coming to our conclusions, and ladies, I really appreciate the energy. This is how we should, and I feel like most of us here have admitted we have seen where we have the problem, and creating awareness also to the rest of the people. So it's more of knowing what we are. This is our problem, and this is not our problem, right? So this was a very good conversation, and I think as we come to an end, it was nice to have you all here. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
gateway to East Africa.
So somebody is saying to you, calm down, we will deal with it. And you're like, but they've just killed 5 people from our own community.
Yeah.
Why should we calm down? It's a sign of weakness if we calm down. Let's go attack them as well.
People resort to violent means, thinking that is the only solution. But at what point can you remember that actually dialogue and negotiation was actually the only solution and actually the antidote to whatever you're trying to fix at that time?
The international community abandoned Rwanda in 1994, no doubt. And the signs were there. But the international community did nothing. And very often, the UN has to take that blame. The biggest offering we can give our young people is hope.
It's hope.
Because if you have hope, you don't want to get into criminality. You don't want to take the law into your hands. You know that it will come. It might take a little bit more, but it's going to come.
For the purposes of generations to come, what would you aspire for that chapter to read about you?
We are not only there to train the students, but our vision is to transform the continent.
Students should have that creativity, not always tell them what to do and how to do it, but come up with an innovative way to do things.
Some problems don't have quick solutions to them. Sometimes it takes time, and failure is often part of that process.
Innovation can only thrive if you have the right investments that you're putting in research and development.
We need to carry every segment of our population with us, and particularly those from underserved communities.
It's about access to finance, access to markets, access to inputs. If that enabling environment is not working well, the young person cannot succeed.